I've waited years for this, and maybe Gran Turismo and Kaz are actually now cooking, because I've been driving Chevrolet Corvettes for years and years. I love driving the C7. I love driving the C8 or Stingray model behind me. I love driving the C8R GTE variant in iRacing. It taught me so much about how to drive fast and endurance. Obviously the C8R GT3, and now the Z06 GT3R in Le Mans Ultimate is amazing to drive. So whenever a new Chevrolet Corvette is added to Gran Turismo, it's huge news for me. The last Chevrolet they added, I made a big video about it. But I've got to be honest, they're not adding the Chevrolet that I want. They're not adding that C8R GTE. They're not adding the GT3, whether it's that one or the Z06. They're adding a Vision Gran Turismo car. Now, I have quite a lot of thoughts about this. I'm interested to know what you think. The first thing is, one of these concept cars they're adding to Gran Turismo next free update, I don't care about at all, and that's the Chevrolet CX, Chevrolet Corvette CX. It's a concept car, it's a VGT, and it's all electric, so you can boo now in the comments. Now, I don't have anything against all electric cars generally. I actually quite like Formula E, so you can boo again in the comments. But I don't like all electric VGT cars in Gran Turismo. They have no soul, they have no identity, there's no passion there, they all sound the same. They all have incredible performance, which doesn't really matter too much because it's a video game, and they just all kind of blend into being forgotten. So this CX, I don't think is going to make a splash at all in Gran Turismo. Let me know if you're excited about it. I'm not. However, they're also adding, and Kaz, this has all been released today, Kaz has announced today, Kaz has been to Monterey Car Week, which is a big deal, and he's got loads of photos next to this car, the CXR, the VGT CXR. This is a V8 hybrid, but hybrid in the right way, revs to 15,000. And when I look at it, and I spend a lot of time with endurance drivers and endurance cars these days, it looks like a hypercar. Like, it looks like the Acura, it looks like the Cadillac, another General Motors car. So it looks like a really kind of like a lot of thought has gone into this one, and it's not just a Bulgari VGT. Like, I want to be clear, I normally do not like VGTs. I don't like if they're adding a Xiaomi VGT. I wouldn't like it if they're adding a Logitech G VGT that looks like a mouse. Like, I just wouldn't really care. However, when it's a Lamborghini VGT or a Ferrari VGT, the one that was like the 499p, or this VGT from Chevrolet, the Chevrolet Corvette CXR, it gets me more interested. However, there's two things that I think are super interesting here. The first one is, actually, iRacing and Le Mans Ultimate can't compete with this. iRacing, as far as I'm aware, every car in the game needs to be a real car, so because you can't simulate something that's not real in iRacing logic. So they can't add these concept cars of the near future, or the far future, or the near future. Their hands are tied. It's the same with Le Mans Ultimate, as far as I'm aware, because they're licensing. It's got to be all the real cars in the World Endurance Championship. So they have the Z06 GT3. It's great fun to drive. I love that car. I love seeing it live. People like Ben Keating have driven these C8 based cars to great success in World Endurance Championship, but they can't add the concept cars. And if we're honest, and I read all your comments on my channel, there's a lot of DNA of Gran Turismo that's in VGTs, that's in concept cars. I'm old enough to remember Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, the concept stuff about it. It was the concept cars around that game that were really exciting from my perspective. Now, this is going back like 20 years now. Man, I'm getting old. But the concept cars were exciting. And I think Gran Turismo needs to really lean into that. I don't think they can send this car out to die. Now, at a minimum, they need to have good single player and multiplayer content for it. Ironically, this is something that Forza has done really well. Forza's missed the mark on many other things. But when they've dropped content, they've been really proud about it, and they supported it with their tours, their featured tours, across single player and multiplayer. And remember, the Chevrolet Corvette C8 was a hero car of that game, along with the Cadillac Hypercar. Now, when they've added stuff like Porsche month, BMW month, they really celebrate it. Even when games like the Crew Motorfest add like a Ferrari month, they really celebrate, they're really proud of it. And I think Gran Turismo needs to do more than just have like a few cafe menu objectives and the dude speaks to you a bit more in the cafe. I think they need to support it with like, there's so many, by the way, Chevrolet Corvettes in Gran Turismo 7 already. I've covered them in my cheap car challenge videos on the channel where I try to buy them and tune them up, compete against, you know, higher spec cars. And if you want to know the shortcut, they always have terrible brakes for some reason. But it'd be cool to be kind of like have our hand held a little bit through a journey of what makes a Corvette and the journey of the cars, and, you know, going mid-engine with the C8 and understanding that and ending up in the CXR. That would be really interesting and kind of tell the story of this heritage, and that would be much more impactful than just, like I said, the cafe menu book stuff. So I think they need to do that. Now there's another thing I would love them to do. Now this is going to sound crazy, so I might need your support here. So if you agree with it, make sure you subscribe, like and share the video. I think they should be doing concept circuits along with the VGTs. I think this actually keeps a lot of people happy, including myself. I think when the Chevrolet CX and CXR VGTs come in the next free update, they should ideally come with a dream Chevrolet track, where a designer can go, look, this is a track that's designed to meet the demands of the Chevrolet CXR, and like it's got the perfect, all this nonsense that they write. But just give us a new track, basically. That's kind of like tied in with the car somewhat. And that's an exciting thing where everyone's going to want to drive that track. Whether you like the VGT or not, everyone's going to want to drive it. Similar would be like when Ferrari added their Ferrari VGT, kind of like loosely associated with the 499p hypercar. It'd be great to have a dream Ferrari circuit. Again, kind of, I speak with car designers from time to time, spend a lot of time with the car designer of the new Jaguar Type 00. They do have all these inspirations and they're very creative people. That would be super cool. Even the Bulgari VGT, the car that I've notoriously slated on this channel because it's the antichrist of what Gran Turismo really should be. I would drive that car if Bulgari also launched a track with it where maybe it's like loads of massive watches by the side of the road and stuff like that. Probably it's set in Dubai and it's just desert or that. It's a vibe I kind of imagine. But that'd be kind of cool. Same with Lamborghini when they did their VGT. It'd be cool to have these characteristics also in a circuit that you can drive on in other cars. We know the Gran Turismo, Yamagiwa, Kyoto tracks, they've great character. They're really characterful tracks. Even Lago Maggiore has fantastic character. Dragon Trail Seaside has incredible character. That, by the way, is a really underutilized track at the moment. I don't know if you've spotted, but I don't know if Dragon Trail Seaside has been cancelled or something, but it seems to barely get used, and that's one of my favourite tracks in the whole game. So I would love to see these concept tracks, and again, iRacing can't do that. There's nowhere for them to go and scan. Le Mans Ultimate can't do that. They're going to add all the ELMS tracks coming soon, but they're not going to do concept tracks. Gran Turismo does have it in its DNA. It's got a VGT tattoo. The Vision Gran Turismo stuff does have good credit in the car world. These brands want to do it. They care about it. There's a lot of money being spent. Whether that's brands paying Gran Turismo or the brands just pay it for themselves, I don't know. But there's a lot of money spent on these Vision concepts, and it isn't a DNA of Gran Turismo. And ultimately, if I have two options and neither option involves me getting the CAR GT3, I would rather go down this pretty cool VGT route than going down the route of getting the SUVs, because at least this Vision car has been designed and driven by a mentality of racing, the CXR, about race cars on race tracks. And let's face it, the Peugeot 2008 SUV was not designed by people who wanted to drive it on racetracks. And that, I think, is very dangerous to Gran Turismo, because it has to be a racing game. And we've seen Forza Motorsport, a lot of people ask about Forza Motorsport. I think if Forza Motorsport has been killed effectively, it's not because Forza Motorsport was a terrible game. I think that would be a mistake to think that. I think it's because Forza Horizon has been so successful as a car kind of playground that it doesn't make sense for Microsoft to focus on Forza Motorsport when they can put all the eggs in the Horizon basket. Now, Gran Turismo is the closest game out there to Forza Motorsport. And that should worry us all as sim racers and people that like driving race cars on racetracks. We should want these games to survive, really. And that's why I think adding these circuits, kind of going down the correct way of doing these VGTs, will actually invigorate the game and will give it this kind of unique identity again. So those are my thoughts. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you happy about the CXR? Because I'll be driving it on launch day.